Alright, try this out. Still got my lamp from last night in here. Oh shoot, can't fall. Alright. Turn these gauges on, see what's happening. Fuel pump. Got fuel. See what happens. Oh my God. Yeah! Yeah! Ah! All right, gents and ladies, rim is finally rewired. I took out the entire engine harness, the whole wiring harness I removed from rim, and I put custom from scratch wiring and connectors. So just a quick walkthrough. I still need to clean up inside of the car, but it's running, so yeah. Let's just start. This is the body harness. So this goes from this is like the dash area. So this is everything that plugs to the dash. And then this goes to this giant connector. This goes down by the, if you're sitting in your seat, to the right, there's a plug right here. This connects everything from like the dash, the gauges, the fuse box to this part of the car. Here's the plug for that. And this goes to the firewall, and it also goes to the ECU. So here are the 3 ECU plugs. Come to find out, these ECU plugs are the same connectors for the Evo9. That's because I have the V6 manual transmission, so it's a 3-plug ECU. And then this is all the wires that came out of the engine bay. As you can see, like, this is the connector for the injectors. It's completely shattered. A lot of these wires were like burnt, and just, there was a lot of opens in them. You can see there. It was just, the wiring harness is in real bad shape. And I was getting a lot of bad readings on my, what I was logging. So I just want to go over some basic things that you guys will need. Put this on my head. Before you do this, those things are here. Most of them are here. First off, number one thing that I think made this go by real fast and easy. I was a line technician for UVerse for a while, 5 years actually, and I did 10 years in the Army in communications. This is a tone generator, wire tracer kind of deal. So the way that works is, let's say you have a wire going through your car. What you'll do is you'll take one side of it and you'll hook just one of these prongs. These are made for double pair or single pairs of wires, but you can do them with single wires instead of a pair. So you'll put one in there. You don't put this on anything. You turn it on, turn your probe on, so it makes a noise. And then you can trace this through the whole car and see where it is. So if you have like 100 wires, you put this on one end and you can find your wire out of the bunch easily. So that, I was able to do this whole project in 14 days. So that made it a lot easier, way easier. So yeah, that's, put that up. And then the wire. So I used 14 gauge and 16 gauge wire. And then this is wire that I use for this is 14 gauge and 16, but this is a solid copper wire. This is copper wire with aluminum core, I think. Anyways, I got a good deal on this, and it's good wire. I read a lot of reviews on it. I got it off Amazon. I'll put the links. This I use for primary power and grounding. These I use for the injectors, the 14 gauge, and then these I use for all the sensors, the 16 gauge. I will say the 14 gauge does not go in, really neither one of these will go into the actual pin, the connector. Let me show y'all real quick what I mean. So I don't want to hack this up just yet, but so when you're going to put these pins in here, when you buy the kit, I'll put the link for the kit for these connectors. It comes with the connectors, and these little color deals are not actually on yet. I didn't even put these back on. Go over to stop. So yeah, these color deals, they don't really do anything. I mean, they separate the wires, but they're really just, I think they're there for identification purposes. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but they just come out and they slide off. So when you use these wires, these bigger ones, that thing is not even gonna fit. You can tell the wire difference. Each of the connectors has spots for bigger wire connectors. Like these are your bigger gauge. These 4, well, these 2, 4, 6. And then the other ones are regular sized. So I'll just show y'all real quick. The way that I had to go about doing this with these bigger wires is, I'll just do one. So bam, there's our wire we're gonna use. Hold on, Ja. Get about a 1/2 inch. A little twist. And then they come with these, the kit. So these are for the bigger port terminal deals, and these are the smaller pins. So we'll break one off. And it's really up to you how you want to do this. I twist. There are tools made for this. I have these from when I was a wireman, and they work fine. So you're just gonna clip there, and then get the other side, crimp it down. Use your actual crimping part, crimp. And then you gotta make sure it stays skinny, because when you crimp, it kind of flares these out. So these are supposed to go on the wire sheathing, but because we're using bigger wires and we're stock, I just crimp those onto the actual metal. And squeeze it back so it's not fat. All right, so now there's kind of wire hanging out. It's not pretty. What we do, heat sink. I like this black one for this. The white one, this is a lot thicker and it handles heat better. I use that for when I do the butt connectors to put wires together. And for, like, let's say I had this wire, I would put this here, I'd heat it up, and I would label what this wire is. But for the actual pin, take one of these skinny ones, and it will slide over this. And you want it to where you don't see any more copper, but you don't want it all the way up on the pin. So you want it about halfway. And then we use our heat gun, which is over there. Or you could use a lighter. A lighter works the same way. It's just, for me, a lot easier to use a heat gun. So So it's got the form, it's tight, there's no wire sticking out to touch another pin. And then, where did you go? All right, so the top of the connector, this is gonna go this way with the flat part on the bottom. So we can plug that into, I don't know. I got it upside down, so I'm gonna turn this upside down. Plug it into one of these. Should go in fairly easy. You hear it click. It clicked, and now it's in there. And that is it. And you do that for all of them. But you see how it gets skinny. So that's why we use a heat sink. So ours don't touch each other. Because at first I tried to jam these in there, and it's just too big to go in there. So that's an easy trick. All right. Diet Dr. Pepper, oh, Diet Coke. All right, so that, bam, crimpers. Yeah, to put the wires together, I use these. So if I want to put these two guys together, just take a little bit. This tool actually came with my soldering gun. So I don't have a link for it, but I can put a link for my soldering iron. Give it a little twist. Stick it there. Then you use this part of your crimper. I like to give it 2. And then our other wire we'll put, might stick out a little bit, it's all good. There's our connection, it's good and tight. And then we'll use this white. And you just get the size depending on what you need. Put the stuff on before you do that. You just slide it over. I'm not gonna sit here and try to force it. And then, same thing, just heat that up. And the cool thing about this heat shrink, is it has this layer of, I don't know what it is inside, but it's like an insulated layer of plastic inside that melts. So, and then you just label or not. So that's that. You also are gonna need a multimeter. This is gonna be good for once you're finished. This is how I was able to troubleshoot, because at first it wasn't starting. I had a few grounds placed in the wrong place, but I got them right. And this was my key to figuring out what had ground, what didn't have ground, what had power, everything like that. So get you one of these. I'll leave this link too. This is a connector set. So for the injectors, I had the 3 injectors, and I didn't want to just run 3 injectors solid to the ECU harness. So I ended up putting them on these here. So everything in the engine bay has connectors. That way I can just disconnect everything and pull the engine out without taking all the sensors off. So there's that. I'll put this link up too. This comes with, this is really easy to use. I'm not gonna go through it because it takes a while, but you basically have a male and a female. You put them on each of your wires, and then depending on what connector, like they have single, male and female, you just put them in there and lock them in, and then you put the connectors together. So they have single, they have double, triple, quadruple, whatever you like. And then these are very important too for when you hook up to the distribution block. So the other key thing is the pinout and all the diagrams and schematics. So If anybody needs these, hit me up. I have them. I also released the entire pinout on my Instagram. All right, moving on to the car. Man, it's a lot. So, I mean, basically, I just replaced everything, right? So I did the injectors first. So these are brand new injector connectors for Denso. Also got those on Amazon. So the red wire receives, how do I explain this? The red wire receives 12 volts all the time from the MFI relay. Each of the other wires gets a ground from the ECU. Excuse me. So that's how that works. I did not keep the same color code, but I wrote down what I did. So this is to the MFI relay, the white. I kept all the things to the MFI relay white. And then I did injector 1, was 2, 4, and 6. So those are grounds to the ECU. Same thing, I mean, I just custom connectors everywhere. This is for the TPS sensor. So the TPS sensor, this is different. All right, so this is an Infinity Q45 throttle body with that is a Nissan, and it's got a Nissan, what's it called? TPS sensor. So same concept though. So you got your black is your ground, green is your 12 volt or 5 volt, 12 volt. I gotta look at the schematics. And then you got your 5 volt. All right, and then the distributor, yeah, I have an MSD box. So yeah, mine's hooked up a lot different than most. I'll do I already have a video on it. So yeah, there's that. And then, you know, old MSD coil hanging out over there. The map, I need to get a new, this is the same connector as the Evo connector. I'm gonna get a new connector, but I basically just spliced each wire. I mean, you just trace each wire and put it where it goes. I mean, if you do it one wire at a time, it's easy. I did get a brand new connector for the alternator from Amazon. I'll put that link up. The knock sensor is on a custom connector. So I just cut the old connector off, put this custom one on. Same thing for the crank position sensor. So mine comes out of there, and it's on this one of those connectors that I purchased. The map, this is actually something that Andrew gave me because I don't have a plug for the map in this guy. So it runs off this little vacuum fitting to this adapter, and yeah, that's how that goes. Everything goes basically this way, and I'm running, okay, I'm running all the wires through here. This, I gotta tie all this back up because I was in the middle of just kind of seeing what was what. I had a couple grounds in the wrong place last night, but that's what happens when you're up till 3 in the morning doing this stuff. So everything runs through this hole where the cabin filter used to be. As far as power, battery sits down here. The MSD goes directly to this guy. I'm grounded to the chassis and to the motor from the battery. And then, all right, I'll clean it. So then you got 2 leads coming off the battery. One's going to this fuse. It's a 250 amp fuse. So this 250 amp fuse, and that feeds the alternator. And then the other one is going, it's splitting. So one side, okay, Ja, one side is going to the starter directly. The other side is going in here to the distribution block. So here's where we get to have fun. As I said, I bought a whole bunch of zip ties. So I'm gonna be cleaning all this up, making it look real pretty afterwards. There's even a few wires that are just, I cut off because I had to troubleshoot last night. So that happens when you're doing these kind of things, but it runs, so yeah. So anyways, this ECU is mounted up there. I have two ECUs. I have two ECUs because I have two ECUs, not because I'm running two ECUs. So there's the power distribution block. So that goes to the feed for the relays. And then there's another feed that goes to the fuse box. And that is the grounding block. And I didn't have any more black cables, so I just ran red and I put a bunch of black deals on there. I mean, nobody else is gonna work on this car, so whatever. So this is what I was saying with the wire, the connectors. So these are the injectors, they're real big. And then the rest, you can see how they fit in there. So I'll be separating all those today, tying them up, depinning like this. I need to depin, I need to depin that and that. Those are wires that I thought I needed, but I didn't, so I just took them off, so there's no issues. Fun fact about Mitsubishi. They like to run a lot of things off the same pin. For example, you have your 5-volt reference. So they tie a lot of stuff into the same 5-volt reference pin. So you just kind of wire it off and do the same deal. I mean, it's way better than what they had. They had literally old, crusty electric tape to hold their wires together. They weren't even crimped. Same thing with your ground. Your MAF and your distributor ground are on the same pin. What else? And then to control, so I have 3 relays right now, and I'm gonna add some more, but just to get it running. I have the fuel pump relay, I have the ECU relay, and the MFI relay. Stock, the MFI powers the ECU, but I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to isolate the ECU to its own switch and its own relay. So, well, its own relay. It's on the same switch. And then I relocated the OBD2 plug. I am able to log. I am able to flash. That was a kind of a challenge. So I'll put that pin out up also. It was hard identifying what was what, because these wiring schematics are not just, hey, let me search what the OBD2 plug is. No, it's very weird the way they word things. Flash cable just hanging out down there. So off of the power distributor, I got this little fuse here. It's gonna be hung up somewhere. That feeds the, it splits. It feeds all these switches here. So the switches in order are, this is powering up the MFI relay and the ECU relay. And I accidentally wired these in. So these are actually gonna get wired to this. This is my gauge switch, so gauges. Yeah, everything's on. I need to wire those into there, whatever. Late nights. And then fuel pump. And I'm not gonna start it because garage is closed, but you just press this and the engine starts. What else? This is just a switch that I had on before, and I just left it on to power this guy up. This is my nitrous panel. So these are the bottle warmers, and the middle finger is the actual nitrous controller that sits over there. If you guys want to see what it looks like on this touchscreen, it's pretty cool. It's from Nitrous Outlet. It's a Pro Max. It's pretty cool because that shows me the speed of the car. It also shows me TPS, and it shows me RPM, which I got the big tat for RPM. But as you notice, I'm not running a gauge cluster anymore. There's a lot of parallel wiring that I didn't want to do. I was trying to keep this as simple as possible for the sake of race car. So that's really it. None of that stuff works. There's no fuse box anymore. Those wires just need to be tied up. That's the sensors from up there, the gauges, nitrous controller, and yeah. I also got a switch on my hydro brake, so when I have the hydro brake on, it clicks. Gyro, hold on. So yeah, when I got this on, click, it's telling the MSD, hey, the brake is on. do the two-step thing, and then it's also telling the Pro Max, hey, hold off on nitrous. As soon as this is let off, two-step stops, full RPMs go, simultaneously nitrous shoots. And we're on a progressive shot from 75 to 150 shot taking off the line. So that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna clean up and yeah, that's it, guys. So if y'all have questions, feel free to hit me up on my IG, and I might be raffling this off or auctioning it off. I think it's got like 160,000 miles on the cluster, but everything works, and I still have the controller for it. So it doesn't have any lights though. Like, it's blacked out, so there's no check engine, there's no blinkers, there's no nothing. It's just a black face plate. So yeah. But oh wait, you know what? Y'all don't want this. A big problem I had was the battery not charging, and this is why. I didn't believe it before, but Mitsubishi decided that, so there's an on-off wire for the alternator. It goes off the ignition. But before it gets to the ignition switch, it goes through this pin, it goes through these two little transistor deals to the light, and it comes back. So if your alternator light is out, it breaks the signal, and your alternator won't charge the battery. Or if these little guys are burnt like they are, it won't charge the battery. It is retarded, but whatever. Anyways, if y'all want this, y'all can have it. Might just get it for the gauge face plates. I don't know. I don't care. Somebody hit me up about it. Yeah, man. So I'll update y'all soon, but that's what's up with Rim. It lives, it runs. Hopefully it'll be ready for IFO February 27th in Baytown. Drag tires are still in good condition. Still got some meat on them. So I'll be going full slick soon, but QuickTime Pros for now. And I got these so I can do some nasty burnouts pretty soon. So.